Oh, hello. Trying to log in here. Okay, hello everybody. Hello everyone. God bless you. If you're logged in, we're here. Yes, we are. We're just gonna wait for just a second, a little bit, so others can join us. But while we're sharing the video, if you could just go ahead and hit your share button and so that others, your friends can know that Team Victor is live on Facebook and Instagram. We're also live on Instagram, okay? So, if you could just share this, that would be really great. And I tell you what, your friends will be glad that you did. And because we have a great topic today. And you can also, if you want to, you can go ahead and just tell us hi. Let us know that you're here. I mean, we love you guys so very much because we couldn't be talking to just each other. It would be so weird. But just to know that you're there and that you're watching makes a lot of difference. And if you're single, you want to also log in and just hang around because we will be touching on the single issues too on this. We're going to be talking about the singles and friendship. Friendship is very important. So if you join us, you love us as we love you, we'd like for you to say, hey, hi, Team Victor, we're here. And that would be really, really great. I know I'm pulling some people's legs, but that's just what it is. Okay? And we're going to get ready to start. And let me tell you, we're not going to be here for long at all. It's going to be quick. And yeah, we like love too. So give us some hearts, okay? While you're watching, just throw out those hearts. Don't be stingy with the hearts, okay? We love the hearts. Okay, thank you so much. Blessed Sunday. Hi, Anita. Yes, a blessed Sunday to you too. Wonderful. Okay. Wonderful. So we can start rolling right away. And what are
Happy
we?
Sunday.
So who are you now?
I am Reverend Vic. I'm
Vic
still
Victor.
who I am.
Vic Victor, the man that answers two of his names.
Yes.
Okay. And
And you
I
had
get
no choice
no,
but to
I get
answer
to
that.
inherit. I get to inherit one of them.
You
I
had
get
no
to inherit
choice.
one of them, which is really wonderful. I mean, you can call me anything in the world, but the most endearing of all of them is Mrs. Victor.
Oh, that makes
You
me feel
know,
good. The
I
most
mean,
endearing name is the general, the one you gave me.
yes. See, this is the general, and we're working on some kind of promotion very soon. We're working on it. We're working on it. Okay. And so my name is May Victor, and this is my sweetheart, uh, Vic Victor, and together, by the grace of God, we founded the Together Forever Marriage and the Single for Now. Okay, and we come live on Facebook and Instagram every Sunday afternoon like this because we know you're already out of church and you're relaxing with your family and you can watch this live video. And we try to bring you life lessons. We try to bring you tips, marriage tips, and we're all about marriage, we're all about family, we're all about togetherness, because we believe that two joined together can make it forever.
Amen.
So that is what we look forward to, and that's what we believe, and we strongly hold on to it that regardless of what's going on, Your marriage is not in the hole unless you say it's in the hole. In other words,
No, it's
you
not.
can make it together forever. I mean, not together for 10 years or together for 5 years. We're talking about together forever. Okay? And so today we're going to talk about one of the foundations of marriage. Um, I know I'm kind of like starting, introducing the topic. The thing says help. I married a stranger. And then we're to provide tips on cultivating friendship with your spouse. Tips on cultivating friendship with, it's kind of like some big words, honey. Cultivating friendship with your spouse. And then if you're single, not to worry because we're going to come along and we're going to talk about, how to ensure
That
that you're going to marry your friend. I mean, like, since you're coming into marriage, you have not said I do. You haven't tied a knot yet. You are really at a better place because then you can clear the air, start from the beginning, and really make sure that yes, I'm getting the good one. I mean, like I'm getting, what my heart,
I'm
who my
marrying
heart,
my friend. Marrying my friend, so to
right.
say. Let's go, honey.
But
Um, were you going to introduce it though? Because
go ahead, I'm
your
done.
intro is too long. It's getting long.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, help. I married a stranger, and one of the questions that people are asking or might ask is, how did you end up marrying a stranger?
Right.
Were you not a lot? How did it? But it does happen. Sometimes we start as friends and then we become strangers or estranged. We're still in the same place, in the same house. We're still Mr. and Mrs., but we have become strangers. And some people actually marry strangers for some reason. Either you were introduced, you didn't have enough time to court, or you didn't court well, or you thought you knew him or her. He ends up being not who you thought you know. So that strangeness comes in. So it does happen to those who are going in. It also could happen that you start as friends and end up as strangers. So, honey, I think we have a few tips that we want to bring out. What do you do if the person you married is not your friend? How do you cultivate friendship with your spouse?
Well, one of the tips that we want to share with you is you need to start from the point of view that you want to you want to invest. You want to make an investment in this person's life.
Yeah.
Okay? Because friendship is hard to, I mean, you can't just wake up one day and remember you're two adults and you grew up in two different backgrounds. You had two different interests. And of course, you are two different genders
Two
most of the
different
time.
people.
Two different people, two different personalities. So you got to make up your mind that you need to invest time,
Mm-hmm.
effort,
Mm-hmm.
talent,
Mm-hmm.
and everything on this person.
Invest energy in
Be
it.
willing to invest energy in it because it needs to be cultivated. Remember what we said? It's about cultivating this relationship. You got to be able to build it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So since it's not built, you got to be able to build it. And building takes work.
And that's really the difference between those who are in it. In other words, those who are married and those who are going in it.
Right.
Going into marriage. If you're in marriage already, your friendship has to be intentional.
Right.
You have to decide to say, this is my husband now or my wife. I have to make effort to be friends. If you are single, which we'll talk about later on, if you're not friends, you wait until you're friends before you become married.
Right.
Because friendship takes time to develop. Friendship takes time, and while you are taking that time, the question is, what do you do? The first thing you do is you develop interest in the things that your spouse has interest in or in the things that they are doing. And I'm going to give you a few examples. In his work or high job, in her, if she's schooling, that, if they're interested in sports, whatever thing that consumes their passion, find interest in that. I was kind of researching on this, and I saw one woman was writing, her husband was doing a PhD in mathematics, which is very abstract and dry. There is nothing to talk about unless you actually go out to learn about it. So this woman said that she had to Google some stuff, find out some words, find out some terms, find out what her husband is doing. First, she asked her husband to send her an outline of his desertification or dissertation, I'm sorry, that she had to ask her husband to send her the outline of his dissertation. And from there, she gained some interest. So you have to be intentional about it. And her husband came home and they were talking about what he was doing. And the husband said, okay, you're interested in what I'm doing. So that became a common interest that they have. So
she went all out. She
went
really
all
went
out.
out because you're talking about maths. You can give that to the dogs. I mean, I'm not even. Yeah, I mean, I give it to her for going all out, and that also tells you that you can adjust to pretty much anything. You know, it's somebody. Well, does it mean, honey, that if somebody is a ballerina? The husband has to learn how to go.
No, you don't have to learn how to stand on your toes and do all that.
You can at least drive your spouse or drive your wife.
At least you find out what each stroke means, what each stretch means, so that you can have a common ground. It's not really knowing, but showing interest in what your spouse
and it's
is doing.
Also, if your spouse is called into the ministry, okay, that's another part of it. If your spouse is called into the ministry, as far as, you know, becoming a pastor or something like that, you need to also take interest. Don't say, well, you're the only one called. Nobody called me, and I'm just going to stay. I'm going to just stay in my own little corner. Don't do that. I mean, just like take interest. If you're not equipped yet to lead the women or to lead the children or something, you can at least go sweep or go arrange chairs, go do something, and let your spouse know that, you know what, this may not be your thing, but because you've taken interest in this particular issue, they get interested.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So what is the next tip?
The next tip is kind of related to this one. It's not just enough to take interest. So the take interest is for you to talk about it. Become a cheerleader.
Right.
Cheer him up in what he's doing, and that goes with what you were saying about somebody who is in the ministry. If it's a performance-oriented interest, let's say they play in sports, they play tennis, they play golf, go stand by the side and cheer them up. Cheer them, get that interest, take it to another level where you are not a spectator, but you are somebody who is taking an active support, showing active support to to your spouse.
You know what helps? You know, my husband has a very wonderful passion with the prison. You know, the prison ministry.
That's a good one.
He has a good and a great passion in there. And I would go for an outreach with him to the prisons, not necessarily because I'm actually as passionate as he is. Actually, his passion drives me along because I see his passion and I just can't help but just fall into place, if you see what I'm saying. So one of the things that I know, honey, you know, trying to take interest in your spouse's interests might be a little bit boring, especially if you think you're totally lost. You don't know what is going on there. Take out time and go Google these issues, because if it's your spouse or your spouse is a man, more than likely he's not going to settle down and tell you everything that he does, because you know men don't talk much. So you may have to discover a lot of things by yourself. But go Google, go to the library, go read up on those issues, and by the time you read up on them, you begin to understand because you cannot take interest unless you understand.
Unless you understand, you
There
can't
has
talk
to be
about
that
it. Hmm.
understanding, you know,
Hmm.
and then you find out that you begin to understand what is going on, and then you be like, this is interesting, and then you begin to find some interesting things in those areas, you know. So that's that tip. Now, another tip that we're going to bring out to you is to cultivate friendship with each other, with your spouse. You got to learn how to be accepting.
That's a big one.
You need to learn how to be accepting. I have to feel acknowledged and accepted with my spouse for me to attempt to even take that spouse as my friend.
Hmm.
If you don't feel accepted, if whenever you show up, your spouse is trying to throw something negative at you, if whenever you show up with nagging, if whenever you show up, you know, nobody even acknowledges that somebody showed up, you wouldn't want to be comfortable. You wouldn't want to like to be around that person.
Yeah, that's a very good one. And we go back to the interest in prison and prisoners' welfare,
Mm.
which is a passion that I have. A lot of people will think about prisoners and they'll say, "Oh, what are you doing with those criminals? Let them rot and die." If my wife had developed the same kind of attitude, I wouldn't want to, because that's a passion that is deep in me. When I'm in prison, ministering or interacting with those people, I'm lost. Quite frankly, I don't remember time until it's time to go.
He's a different
I'm a
different
different animal,
animal.
animal in prison
I mean,
because we
like
are talking,
totally
they are
different.
sharing their
Yeah.
concerns, they are talking about, I'm really getting immersed in their world while I'm with them. So while we're there, my wife, I don't even know that we came together until
Mm.
she comes and taps and says, honey, they said it's time for us to leave. So if she doesn't share me, if I come out and she says, those people, I saw one of them looks like a murderer. The other one was the one that was on TV. They said he killed or did this. We're not going to be friends.
Yeah.
It's not going to cultivate friendship. So the other part of it is don't try to fix your spouse. I think
Mm.
that that's aligned with this too. Don't make them dislike what their passion is just
Right.
because you're not sharing it.
Yeah.
Share them on, share in the passion. Try very hard. And I think
See,
after a while,
you begin to
you became
cultivate. Yeah.
initially you were not comfortable with going.
Yeah, like whenever I pass through that one door and you hear wham like that, I'm like, ooh,
Because you
you
go through the
know,
gates, the
they,
iron bars come clanking
my
right behind
lord.
you. The first time you're thinking, am I going to be able to get
To
out?
even, I mean, like, I
Do
don't
they
know
know
what,
I don't belong here?
I don't know what I thought about, but you know, your passion was really
Yeah.
driving me. And somebody is asking us, and this is your question. We have a question from the audience saying, well, I mean, if your wife did this adjustment and cultivated friendship with you through
Mhm.
going with you to the prison, what did you cultivate for me?
Yeah,
Now, that's
and
a
that's a
very
good one.
good question.
That's a good
So now
one.
you answer that.
Well, one of them we're sharing. I am not a very verbal person. My wife, as you all know, talks. She makes friends easily. She interacts with every and anybody. I'm selective in who I hang out with or who I say hello to. I have learned to make adjustments in that area. Uh, she brings whoever we're in public. Oh, honey, and she wouldn't ask for your permission. You just say, honey, come and meet. You say no, she pulling your clothes. And eventually you have to be make initially when we come home, I'm like, honey, do you know if I wanted to say hello to that person? Why were you getting me? Just do your thing.
I'm like,
Don't get me involved.
I'm like, when would you say hello to people? I mean,
so
like, they're
so
people.
I have learned to make adjustment in that area. One other area is watching movies. It has to be a movie that is well scripted, well acted for it to sustain my interest. So there are very few movies that I sit down and watch more than 10 minutes. Because my wife will laugh and cry with them, and sometimes in the movie or 2 hours, she cries halfway and laughs the other way. I've learned to also sometimes act like I'm crying.
Really?
Because I can't relate to why you're watching movie and crying, but I can't say that. That's where we are. So we cry with the movie, we laugh with the movie. So yeah, I've had to make some adjustments too.
Okay, now the next one we want to point out, another tip is try to apply mutual respect for
Okay.
each other.
Yeah, that's very important.
Very important, very key, because regardless of what happens, your spouse or whoever that you're hanging out with needs to know that you respect them. And respect is reciprocal. You mean when you sow respect, you're gonna reap respect. You see, so you're not trying to put your spouse down at any chance that you get, because if you do that, you're gonna be losing a friend.
In our ministry or in our workshops, we talk about intellectual intimacy. What it means is even if I don't appreciate what you're saying, I respect what you're saying. I respect your knowledge. I respect your reasoning. It might make no sense at all to me,
Mm.
but I do respect that that's where you're coming from. That's your point of view. That's how you cultivate friendship. Let's face it. Nobody goes where they are put down. You
Mm.
don't want to, you go where
That's
you
true.
are celebrated.
That's right.
So if we are friends and every time I hang with you, all I get is put down.
Negative
You're
things.
putting down my thoughts, you're putting down my ideas, you're putting down, even if they're wacky,
Mm-hmm.
let's celebrate it. That's
Yes.
where I am.
Yes.
If you need to kind of add input to it, get excited first. Say, wow, that's a great idea. But have you thought about this?
Right.
That's how to criticize objectively. Have you thought about what if we do it this way? Don't you think it might add to what you're thinking? And then the person will say, you know what? I really haven't thought that far, but you're right.
You're right.
So let's celebrate our intellect, celebrate our ideas, and not put the other person down.
And then, like going to the final, because we're trying to stop these videos as on time.
Yes.
Is you gotta try as much as possible to, even when you have conflict, apply kindness
Mm-hmm.
and gentleness.
Mm-hmm.
Even when I have to put that even when there's conflict, because it is taken for granted that there's going to be conflict.
Yes.
So, in the face of conflict, to cultivate friendship with your spouse, in the face of conflict, apply gentleness and kindness. Just be kind. Be watchful what you say, especially when you're upset, when you're angry. Be watchful what you say or how you act, because what you say might bring a divide or big divide between you and your spouse. Understand that conflict will go away. It will be resolved. 27 years of marriage over here. Do you know how many conflicts that we have to have
I know
dealt
we just
with?
had one here too.
Like
Talked
per
about
second per second. Like we're dealing with it.
yeah.
But we need to know how to deal with it to where we are being kind to each other. So it's not, there's something that I learned a while back, and I made a commitment to myself that when I'm in a heated, argument with my husband, when things start going over the threshold, I made up my mind that I'm gonna just keep my mouth shut. I wasn't gonna say a word. I'm gonna like zip it, because I feel like when you're really angry and you start letting loose that top of your mouth, you're gonna say things that you will never be able to take it back.
Yeah.
Remember, you're the custodian of your words as long as they're not spoken. But once your words are spoken, you've lost it. You're no longer the custodian, because you put it out there for anybody to see. So if you want to be your spouse's friend, please be kind to them, even when you don't feel like it. Just remember,
Contain yourself.
yeah, remember kindness, gentleness, you know. And so, what about the singles?
Yeah. Yeah. Singles, if you're single, you're in love. You haven't
Yes,
married them yet.
yes.
We are hoping you wouldn't marry a stranger.
Mm,
One thing you have going on for you is that you have time.
mm,
You have time to develop that friendship. You have time to find out if you will ever become friends.
mm.
Because there are people, let's face it, there are some people, no matter how much you try, you're not going to be able to be friends with them. You apply all the tips we're giving you here, they are not following the same tip.
Mm.
So you have a problem. You have interest in what they do. They have zero interest in what you
What you
do.
do.
You respect them. They have no respect for you, no
Mm.
respect for your intellect. You say something, they say, how can you say that? Are you even thinking? So those people you're not going to develop interest with. So if you are single, you have time. The other thing you have to watch out for, are you comfortable with that person?
Yes.
Do you like hanging around that person? Do you enjoy each other's company? That's the when you leave that person, how do you feel? Do you leave with burden, wondering who you are, or do you leave with excitement,
Mm.
feeling good that you're finding it hard to leave each other? So I think that's the critical thing with
Right,
singles.
right.
How does that person make you feel?
Yeah. How do you feel around them? I mean,
Mhm.
do they even want to give you time? Because I mean, I see sometimes, some singles say, you know what? These days, he's not even taking my call. He's not even taking responding to my text. He's
Yeah, I
not
hear
doing
that a
this.
lot.
If they don't want to acknowledge you, you're hanging with someone who's not acknowledging you, who does not want to accept you for who you are, who is not respecting you, and who is not affirming who you are,
Yes.
who needs you only when they need something, and as long as you get their needs met, goodbye. If that is the person that you're hanging with, you want to hang on a long time and to understand and make up your mind that really truly this is the one. But if they're not shifting, then you need to understand that that's not your friend and you don't want to go on with that relationship. So I know we're getting ready to close, and we just want to appreciate you. But I want to let me share this quick tip with you. Friendship is I mean, it's like you're going to the store and you're buying something. Let's say you need something,
Hmm.
and here in the United States we have, and I know there are many nationalities watching. It's also online. I'm gonna throw it out there. I've never bought from there, but let's say you're trying to go to eBay or you're trying to go to Craigslist and you're trying to buy something. Let's say make believe you want to buy a best friend. Okay, I want to buy a best friend. You gotta sit down like you're trying to buy a couch, but you want to buy a best friend. You want to sit down and begin to itemize what are the qualities of the best friend that you want to buy. Honey, give me qualities.
Loyal,
Okay, you want someone who's loyal.
excitable,
I want someone who's excitable, friendly,
warm,
somebody who's warm,
welcoming,
somebody who's welcoming. Keep
all
going,
and all
baby.
and
Keep
all.
going, baby. Keep going, baby.
Intellectual,
Somebody who's accepting,
spiritual,
spiritual, somebody
somebody
who's
who
gonna
loves God.
there you go. So
Hmm.
all of that, you sit down, you name that, and you put it on a sheet of paper. These are the qualities of this best friend that I'm gonna go shop for. So now flip it. Step two, you gotta flip it. Start acting out all those things that you put on that list to your spouse.
Be loyal.
So now
Hmm.
I'm the one who's shopping for a best friend, okay? As in Team Victor are not friends. I assuming, okay, we're just good friends. But so then you start being loyal, you start being
Friendly,
you start being friendly, you start
warm.
being warm, acknowledging. Just give the all of these items to your spouse. show him love or show her love, show her respect, show him respect, everything like that. Let me tell you, research has shown, and this is also biblical. After a while, remember what the Bible says, what you sow, you're going to reap? After a while, all those things that you're sowing on this person, you will begin to reap them
Person.
if you faint not. So now, as you're showing them respect, you're going to automatically, somehow, they are responding to you with respect. Somehow, they are acknowledging you. Somehow, they're accepting you. Somehow, they're being nice, being loyal. All that you sowed on them, they are now responding back to you. And that's friendship. But we're not going to deceive you. This will not happen in a day,
It's not an overnight
a week,
thing.
or even a month, depending on who you're dealing with. But research has said if you marry your best friend, that marriage is on the road for together forever.
And if you married a stranger, you can become friends.
Yes.
It just requires you being intentional.
Right.
And I'm going to also say this, that sometimes people go through phases. If your husband or spouse is going through a phase when they want to be left alone, we have to meet people at where they are. So we have to learn to give them their space. That's part of friendship. So that's part of making them comfortable. But let us be intentional because it pays off. I can't imagine marrying or living in the same house with a stranger. That's such a burden. And with that, I think our time is up.
Yes.
Is it?
Yeah. Quickly, I just want to announce, please. Last week, if you watched us last week when we talked about the forgiveness video, we don't know what happened to that video. To be honest with you, we're trying to find it. We can't find it. Because some of our fans were sending us messages and saying, "What happened to the video?" We don't know. Maybe something technicalities on our end that we did, but I promise you, because I know some of you will come back to rewatch this or share it, after we're done. I promise I'm going to be really careful in trying to save this one so that they'll be available for you. But thank you so much.
Thank you
for watching. Have a very wonderful week and a wonderful evening. Thank you. We'll see you next time, next week. God bless you. Bye.